Hello, and welcome to Lunch with DRBA. Today's presentation is You Can Be a Citizen Scientist. This presentation is being recorded. We will not be taking questions. However, you can send questions to us about the presentation or about DRBA relationships after the presentation is over. I'm Regina Flora. Officially, I'm retired, but I work a part-time job as DRBA's Assistant Educator. I'm also a Virginia Master Naturalist, and in that capacity, I serve as the Education Outreach Chair for the Southwestern Piedmont chapter. I'm a Project Learning Tree Facilitator, but most importantly for today, I'm a citizen scientist. Here's a quick view of the agenda. We'll go through some definitions, the value of being a citizen scientist, steps, focus area examples, and a summary. So DRBA relates to being a citizen scientist by mission. The Dan River Basin Association, which we call DRBA, protects and promotes the Dan River Basin through recreation, education, and stewardship. So one example of recreation is the first Saturday outings for hiking and paddling. One of the examples of education is trout in the classroom. And then for stewardship, we have citizen scientists that we call monitors. And these are water monitors for Save Our Streams and for CWQM E. coli monitoring. Being a Virginia Master Naturalist also relates through our service areas. Notice how these closely align with DRBA opportunities. We have environmental education, stewardship, and citizen science. So here's a definition I found online of citizen scientist. It would be a member of the public who collects and analyzes natural world data as part of a collaborative project. But I like this definition the best. An amateur community member, very curious or concerned about nature, and willing to gather data to help the scientific professionals. For example, Isaac Newton was a citizen scientist. His observations on white light helped establish the theory of color and were published in his book, Optics. Another good example, Florence Nightingale. She gathered data about soldiers' living conditions and created a graph showing simple sanitation techniques could help stop infectious disease. Another citizen scientist was Benjamin Franklin. He compared weather reports from his friends in other colonies and predicted a storm's course generally moved west to east and could be plotted. And then there's Charles Darwin. His personal analysis of plants and animals he gathered led him to question how species form and change. Are you curious like these famous citizen scientists? They were just doing it out of curiosity, observing things. Maybe you will discover something new too during your observations, and you could end up on the list with other famous citizen scientists. Our data is valuable. Studies indicate that citizen science data is as reliable as professional data. There are time constraints on the limited project scientist, and we often have more time available. This allows for a larger scale data collection because we have citizen scientists worldwide. It will help advance scientific research, and shared knowledge impacts policy like environmental regulations and taxes. Let me give you one example of how citizen scientists can impact policy. There is a project called Clean Virginia Waterways every year in the early fall. presented by the International Coastal Cleanup. People participating, which would be citizen scientists, collect and divide the litter they pick up into categories. For example, how many plastic bags did we pick up? How many cups? How many cigarette butts? And you submit this individual data. Then the project group reports the data to the state. Several years ago, it was found that the fourth most common litter item in Virginia was those store plastic bags. So Virginia passed a law in 2020 that says any Virginia city or county can collect 5 cents per use plastic bag distributed. If you're interested in this project, locally it's managed by Longwood University. So I'm curious about a number of things, like how much rainfall do I receive at home? What species of birds eat at my feeders? Is there E. coli in my creek? How many bluebirds fledge from my birdhouses? Has spotted lanternfly infested the local park? There on the right, you can see data that I've collected in the past from the rainfall using my Kokoros rain gauge. I can look back at this data anytime and see how much I had during a particular month or week. It helps me decide whether I need to water my plants and flowers outside or not. But the data is used nationally and compared and graphed in with all of the other citizen scientists sending reports of rainfall from their particular area. So how can you become a citizen scientist? Well, first you must decide what sparks your curiosity. You would go through these 5 steps. Make a plan. So again, what sparks your curiosity? It can be a topic like clouds, wildflowers, bumblebees, squirrels, monarchs, fungi. And then you do a little research and you find a related project that gathers data from citizen scientists. You'll create an account. It'll be a very simple registration, most likely, and it will tell you to get an app or get a link for data submission. You will do some type of training, so everyone that's doing this project is doing it the same way. It could be attending a class. It might be watching a webinar. Often it is reading a document that the project lead organization has on their website. And then you go outside, you find your data, and you submit it. And as soon as you finish the 5 steps, you are a citizen scientist. As you go along, you'll develop your skill set. We are not required to be experts. Again, we need a curiosity, and then we need to go out there and search for the data. You'll be recording your observations on the project that you choose. You often will use photos and notes. You will learn to ID better and better as you go. You may be using the web to help you ID, apps, field guides, other people. You'll be making a note of locations of things that you observe. The photo, if you're taken by your phone, will automatically record the place and the date and time. Or you could be doing it in a field notebook. You could be looking on the GPS and getting your coordinates. You will need to be following protocols, using the same types of tools or techniques that everybody else working on this project is doing. And as you do this more and more, you will start to recognize typical patterns and anomalies. Projects are very diverse. Some are free, some require a small fee. Some require a downloaded app, others a link. Some are for a defined area, others are worldwide. Some are individual, some need a registered group. Now back to DRBA's citizen scientists, which are Citizen Water Quality Monitors, or CWQMs. We have 3 types. The first type is the River Watch Monitor. There is no training required. This is for people that go out to the river to fish, to walk a trail near the river, to paddle down the river. And while you're out there, you're noticing something odd, something unusual that somebody needs to know about or help take care of. Maybe there is a large appliance stuck in the bank of the river. Maybe there was a large section of the river bank that has eroded in, and there needs to be some riparian buffer work done. Maybe someone has thrown out a large amount of garbage and it's like now coming off down the bank and into the waterway. So you would just notice this while you were out casually at the river for some reason, and then report this location and the issue into Dan River Basin Association. Our contacts are on the website. You could also be a CWQM E. coli monitor. You do this once a month and collect water samples and see if E. coli grows in your Petri dish. Then you report the data in through a link on our website. The CWQM macroinvertebrate monitor is the one that collects data for Save Our Streams. And this is when you look for macroinvertebrates in your stream location in the spring and in the fall and report that data in. All types of our citizen scientists are helping us determine the water quality in all of the waterways in our Dan River Basin. Master Naturalists offer a lot of different programs that you can be involved in and a number of citizen sciences projects. If you're interested in being a Master Naturalist in a local chapter that's near the DRBA offices, that chapter is called Southwestern Piedmont Chapter, Virginia. You can join us on Facebook on the official chapter page is called Southwestern Piedmont Master Naturalist, but we also have a public page that is called Naturalist Outreach SWP Virginia. We post all types of environmental information there and projects that we're working on, and the public are invited to participate in. If you do not live in the area of Pittsylvania, Patrick, or Henry counties, and you're interested in a naturalist chapter, in Virginia, look at virginiamasternaturalist.org, and you can find the locations of all the chapters across the state. These are coordinated by Virginia Tech and the Virginia Museum of Natural History. If you're in North Carolina, there is a chapter in Rockingham County that joins in with multiple other counties next to it. It's called Northwest Piedmont Chapter NC. You can find the different chapters across the state on their website at nc-master-naturalist.org. The ones in North Carolina are coordinated by the North Carolina Cooperative Extension Service. These are not available statewide yet because the first Master Naturalist chapter just started in 2023. However, these will most likely grow across the state. Now, a lot of times, citizen scientists will say, but I didn't find any data to report. Well, lack of data is an important find. For example, you're monitoring for E. coli and you don't find any purple spots in your Petri dish. Well, the really dark purple and dark deep blue spots indicate harmful bacteria, E. coli. So if you don't find any or just find a few of those spots, that's a good thing. That means your water quality probably has a good quality to it. What if you checked the spotted lanternfly trap and you didn't find any nymphs? Well, you need to report that if you were in a county that's collecting that data. That's a good thing because it means the spotted lanternfly has not invaded your particular area yet. You can use iNaturalist for personal submissions and for group projects. Information is available at inaturalist.org. They offer a free app for you to use on your phone. So when you're out collecting or looking for data, you'll have your phone with you, and you ID by photo or sound. The information that you submit and ID is used by research organizations, students, and scientists around the world. You can join 3 local projects by clicking the screen bottom in the app and then search for these 3 projects. Look at the picture on the left and you'll see that little word projects. This is at the bottom of a photo from my phone app. So I just opened up iNaturalist. I see projects at the bottom. I clicked on it, and the ones that I have joined will come up under joined. Up at the top, there's a search bar. You would key in Dan River Basin Fauna. You will see it listed as second down on the photo. When you find it, you click it, and it asks you if you want to join that project, and you would say yes. There's a description there that tells you what we're trying to collect in this project, which is any type of animal wildlife anywhere in the basin. Once you click it, you'll automatically in there, and every time you take a photo of wildlife and ID it, it will start showing up under our project. Another new one is Mayo River State Park, Virginia. The park rangers have set this one up for you to join, and it will start recording any photos that are ID'd from people that are visiting in the Mayo River State Park of Virginia side. We have a big challenge coming up at the end of April. It's called City Nature Challenge 2025. It's at the top of my photo, and it is for Southwest Virginia. Make sure you find that one for the right year and that it's for Southwest Virginia. This is at the end of April, but you can click into those words there and say, yes, you want to join, so that when the dates come up, if you're out there taking photos and submitting them, those photos and the data will automatically be included in our project. This is kind of a competition between organized groups throughout America. And the purpose is to get our residents out there and submitting photos of everything that they can find. And this would be plant and animals in the wild. Do not take photos of your pets, your livestock, or plants that you've planted in your yard. It's for the natural environment, wildlife, and plants. Here are some projects that I will mention that I've participated in, or a little bit more information about ones. Spotted lanternfly was a very active project just a couple of years ago when they really started coming on down out of Northern Virginia, down through the state. The map at the bottom there shows you where all the spotted lanternfly adults or nymphs and all were being reported in large numbers. And this was throughout the year of 2024. So those particular counties know it's out there and they don't need to be informed anymore. But if you're in an area that is still white and you spot some in any stage, you could report that into your local VCE office if you're in Virginia. The last info I found said that in North Carolina, reports went to a place called Badbug at ncagr.gov, which is the agricultural department. So when you're doing the spotted lanternfly, you would be searching, taking a photo, then sending an email with the photo. You'd be looking for the adults, eggs, or nymphs. The only thing you're going to find right now would be the egg casings. Whatever that you would find, then after you photo, you would destroy those eggs, nymphs, and adults, because this is a highly invasive insect that's from another country. If you're interested in CWQM water monitoring, DRBA offers free training, the supplies that you need, and the data link on our website. The next training is March 4th in Danville, and you can go on the website and send us information about your interest and register for that CWQM training. People that are citizen scientists in this category sample a waterway. Often it's the one that's on their property. They're looking to see if the Petri dish grows E. coli, and they do it once a month. If you're interested in Virginia Save Our Streams, DRBA also offers that free training, the supplies that you would need, and the link to submit the info. The next training is April the 4th at Ferrystone State Park. Again, contact us through the contact information on our website at danriver.org. If you are an SOS citizen scientist, you work with other people and you count macroinvertebrates twice a year. I use eBird a whole lot. The information is at ebird.org. It has a free app. It's used worldwide. You must identify the birds first, and the best thing I found to do that is an app called Merlin, which is also free. After you identify the birds, you submit the numbers of each species that you have counted, and you can do this anytime, anywhere, as often as you like. There are some group eBird counts, and I'll mention those later. We're hoping you will join up with Journey North. JourneyNorth.org is used across America for several different types of migrations. What we are most interested in is the migration of the monarchs. Monarchs are being placed on the endangered list in the United States this year. In this project, you just go into Journey North and you'll see a drop down of the different types of migrations they are following. And you could do more than one if it's pertinent to your area. But click on monarchs, and then you will start counting monarch eggs, caterpillars, pupils, adults, and even any type of species of milkweed that you can find. This is ongoing throughout the year. However, they do have a special bio blitz in the summertime. Sometimes the projects are groups that have to be registered. For example, the City Nature Challenge is by a registered group. Now, we already have that challenge out there, and it's the City Nature Challenge 2025, Southwest Virginia. It was registered by My Naturalist chapter, Southwestern Piedmont Master Naturalist. It's in Patrick Henry, Pennsylvania, Franklin counties, and the cities within. You do not have to be a master naturalist to participate. It's just already registered out there, and if you submit your photos, then it will automatically add into our project. So again, we're competing against other places across Virginia and across the entire country. You have to use iNaturalist to submit your nature photos. This contest is at the end of April each year, and the specific dates for this year are April 25th through 28th. Join the project now, and photos that you take during those days will automatically upload into our project. The Bluebird Society has a project every year. Usually it's managed by the state club. Info is online. The local club near the DRBA offices is Southside Bird Club, but you can contact any local club in your area. They generally assign boxes that's on a trail or a park for different citizen scientists to monitor. But you can monitor the boxes on your own property. Sometimes the bird club coordinator will give you paper forms or an online form to fill out and submit to them. But you can submit data straight into an org called Nest Watch. They have a website and the link for you to go into for each of your observations. And they do not only bluebird monitoring nest, but any other type of bird nest data. Another example of a group count would be the Audubon Christmas bird count, which you participate in by bird circle. Now you can keep counting birds and submitting reports all through the period of this, but if you're in with the circle and participating with that group, then the data is submitted a special way by circles to Audubon. You count birds and submit to eBird. To participate in a local bird circle, you would go on the Audubon site, and you'll notice that we have bird circles in Danville, Chatham, Martinsville, and Rockingham County. You can find that information at audubon.org. This special bird count is annually for 2 weeks from December 14th through January 5th. We just finished another big bird count called the Great Backyard Bird Count. It was just a few days ago. It's always in February for 4 days, but you do not have to be part of an organized group or a registered circle for it. You just go anywhere during those 4 days and submit. It's kind of like a bio blitz. It's happening during a special time, and you're uploading your photos like you would do any other day. So what sparks your curiosity? Maybe none of the projects that I've mentioned, but you're wondering, where can I find some? Well, I did tell you about the iNaturalist app and looking at the bottom and clicking on projects and then just start searching for ones that's there. You can also go to a place called scistarter.org. This is a photo of what it will look like. You just type in a topic that you're curious about, say squirrels, and then it will pop up and you can read about any available projects that SciStarter is helping organize. You register for the project you're interested in. Make sure that it's for your location and the type of nature, like the type of squirrel that you have in this area. Then you start gathering data and submitting it. That particular project will tell you whether you need to submit data through a special link, through a special app, or they might just say, go to iNaturalist, click on projects, look for this special project name, and join it. There's a lot of the SciStarter projects that do that. So again, for iNaturalist, it's a free app to download. You just go outside, submit photos or sounds, you ID them. Other people will chime in and agree or disagree or help you make a better, more specific ID. And then you can also join projects of interest if you want to be involved in the group projects. This is 3 examples of data collection forms that I have used, just to show you how easy it generally is. The first one is DRBA's field data sheet that's on our website link for people who have been trained as a CWQM. And you go in after you've did your field data with your water temperatures, you did your Petri dish and counted the number of spots in it, things like that. And you go into the form and you start filling in all of that different information. The form in the middle is one that we used when the county was collecting observations about spotted lanternfly. So our particular area here isn't doing that anymore, but that was the type of form I used when we were doing it a couple of years ago. The third one is one of the examples of mine where I was watching a nest for a Carolina wren. This is through Nest Watch. It can be used for bluebird boxes, but any other type of nest. And you're watching to see when the nest was built, how many eggs did they lay, how many eggs hatched, how many hatchlings fledged, and then you're closing out that particular watch. You can have multiple nests being watched at the very same time. Again, this is through Nest Watch, and it is a free project. Here's a quote from John Muir that was a very famous naturalist. He says, "I only went out for a walk, and going out, I found, was really going in." Let me highly suggest that when you go outside to walk, don't go out to be a speed walker. How fast can I walk? How many miles can I walk? Things like that. Slow down and take in the environment around you. Start observing what's going on, or join a project and be looking for data that you can submit. The more that you take in out in nature, the more you will be able to give it back to the environment. You will be enjoying the natural environment. It will improve your physical and mental health. You'll educate yourself, maybe identify something completely new. If you're someone like a master naturalist, you could earn volunteer credits for participating in projects. Doing these projects will help you develop observation skills, and then you'll be sharing your data, and this will help researchers and the environment. So in summary, citizen scientists provide valuable answers for professional researchers, like who is noticing and gathering this data? Who is curious? What is the current status of a species? Where do we need conservation efforts? How is global warming affecting populations? When did that invasive arrive? Remember, we are diverse. Gather data that you are curious about. You can work alone or with a group. All data or lack of data is important. Numerous projects are available worldwide, and many projects are free, simple, and easy to submit data. So you can be a citizen scientist. You do not need a special degree or a job position, just curiosity. Thank you for listening in today. Again, I am Regina Flora, the DRBA Assistant Educator. There's my email address, but you can find contact information for all of our offices on the website at danriver.org. You can send me questions about today's presentation, or you can make contact through one of the offices about any of the DRBA projects that I talked about. A recording of this webinar will be available at danriver.org/programs. Again, thank you for listening, and I hope you have a safe snow day. Bye-bye.